Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Katsukai channel. Hope you're doing well. Happy New Year, I guess. We're like, what, 10 days into the new year? So, Happy New Year. I know you saw the title of this video. And I know some of you, maybe a lot of you, already have thoughts, but this is going to be my Anime Week in Atlanta, aka AWA, which, random aside, I had no idea that AWA is something I guess I made up, because everyone kept saying AWA, like, not AWA. So, I guess technically it's AWA, but I'm gonna say AWA, okay? This is my AWA vlog. You're probably like, this is a vlog, you're sitting here talking in front of a camera. Yes. So, I didn't get a lot of footage this year, which of course we'll get to. There's a venue change, date change, we'll get to that. But, I don't know, I just felt like if I were just to put those clips together, it would be incredibly boring. So, I wanted to do kind of like a vlog slash chit chat slash haul slash info kind of for this. I do want to try to diversify this year and really kind of push myself outside of my comfort zone, so I thought this would be a way to do that. But other than that, let's get into the vlog. Okay, so we're starting with Thursday, the first day. Not really much happened. Spoiler, not really much happened. We started the day really doing other stuff, like outside of the convention, so we really didn't get there until around about like 4 p.m. And mind you, if you've ever gone to a 4-day convention, or a convention that has a weekday in addition to weekends, most of the time folks don't take off that day, so usually it's a pretty slow day. Okay, so before we kind of get into things, let me actually back up a little bit. Typically, AWA always took place at the Cobb Galleria / Waverly Hotel. That has changed. It's now moved to the Georgia World Congress Center. Also, typically AWA was around, in October, around Halloween. This time it was the, 12th to the 15th, so 10 days before Christmas, essentially. Also, of course, as you know, especially if you're Atlanta native, you've been to any big event, or one that comes to mind is MomoCon, that also takes place at the Georgia World Congress Center. It has 3 main buildings, so building A, B, and C. When me and my friend got there, we were thinking, okay, this is gonna be like MomoCon, because MomoCon takes place in buildings A and B. So we were walking around buildings A and B, and we were like, why the fuck is it so goddamn quiet? What's happening, right? But soon, which I'll show clips of kind of what things looked like there, the people who worked there were kind of turning us into building C, like, hey, it's this way, go this way to building C. So that's where the entire event took place, was just in building C. So as we made our way to the correct area, we realized it wasn't dead necessarily. It was just a Thursday. Not a lot of people are typically there on a Thursday. We kind of made our way to, I guess, kind of some of the main areas in building C, and that's where we started to see people. One thing I did like, especially since there was a venue change, is that I like how they had maps around, as well as like the very clear signage, which they could have had that in the past, but I wasn't paying attention to that. For example, the area where they had all like the little disco party dance areas, it was labeled disco. Manga library had a big old sign next to it, as well as the exhibit hall, artist alley, very clear, which made it very easy to navigate. Especially, it was kind of like I was new, like I'd never been to this convention before, just because it did change location, so really do appreciate that. Also, they did have those cosplay signs around all the cosplay rules, which I like that one of the rules was don't show up naked. Anyways, I'll talk a little bit more about the cosplay stuff towards the end of the video, but just wanted to put that out there. So another change that happened at AWA this year was that they opened up the exhibit hall, well, the vendor hall / artist alley for 4 days instead of the normal 3 days. I did notice there was a lot of room to walk around this year in the exhibit hall, which is great for me because I like personal space even before the 6 feet rule of the pandemic, but I can definitely see how it can be concerning to artists and vendors with the amount of space there is to walk around. But as we're speaking of exhibit hall here, I thought I would sprinkle in halls throughout this video. So we'll start off with the first part of this hall, since we're on the topic of Artist Alley and vendors. Julian from Julianne Doodles was actually at AWA this year, and it was really cool because I just started watching her videos like I think last year. It hasn't been that long, but I remember I like saw the art. I was like, that looks very familiar. And then I saw her, I was like, oh shit, she's there. So I did purchase some things from her. Which her shop is called Peppercut Studio, which this video, I will make sure I put the artist that I bought from down below. Anyways, let's get to what I got from Peppercut Studio. So, got a few things that I put all in this bag. Before I get to this haul here, I hope she didn't think I was fucking weird, okay? Because, one, I was already so awkward. And then she was just like, yeah, I really wanted to check out the food scene. So what food is good here? And I go,
the varsity?
And then right after we had that conversation, I thought of like 10 fucking places she could have gone. So I got 2 die cut stickers. So first we have this no face sticker, and then we got a Appa sticker. Make sure I'm not centered whatsoever. And then we got 5 sticker sheets. This one here, I think it's an original character, if I'm not mistaken. We have like this like mail Pokemon mailer little dudes. And then I had to get anything coffee related I just love. So here's this one. We got some water types here, water / ice types, because isn't Lapras water and ice? No? Okay. Then the last one, more Pokemon ones. So we got some grass types here. Yeah, it was a really good deal. Most of these are really like great quality like sticker paper. Anywho's. And lastly I got a print. Look at that. It is Snorlax and Tortoro. Love all of it. Can't wait to put this one up. Soon I'll be decorating the walls in this barren room. So if you want to get anything from Peppercut Studio, I'll make sure to link the shop in the description. Also, just her YouTube channel. You can probably find all the links there. But yeah, it was so nice to meet her. Anyways, back to the convention. So most of Thursday, really not much happened. We went to a couple of panels. One was actually a really exciting one. It was like K-pop trading, or essentially K-pop trading, which was my first ever K-pop photo card trading event, like in person, which was a little bit weird for me because most of the time I'm of course used to trading via Instagram. That's where I do most of my trades, but it was cool to trade in person. I only did one trade because most of the time I was literally just talking about, they were talking about all the K-pop concerts they went to, and like they're like, yeah, my first K-pop concert was BTS. And then I think I met someone who also went to see ATEEZ on tour last year, the Towards the Light tour, and then someone very jealous got to see 17. So that was most of the event, was me chatting with people. But I did do one trade. I did trade a Woozy for this Hoshi. This is Hoshi's concept card from 17th Heaven. There's that. To end the day, we did go to an event later on that day called BL Bingo. Did I film it? No. One, because there were like technical difficulties for the first portion, which typically that happens on Thursday. That's like not new. And then I was kind of tired that day also. But yeah, so I'll show you a picture of my bingo card. And there we are. Okay, so adding this in here because I completely forgot that, yeah, we went to this little disco thing. Not gonna play the music because copyright. But yeah, we went here. But that is essentially Thursday, so now on to Friday. Like Thursday, we started the day outside of the convention, so we did go to one of my favorite places to eat that I could have told Julianne about, but whatever at this point. But K-Pot, which I think I've maybe featured them on the channel before. Also, I did kind of cosplay this day as well, so I was Snorlax. I just had on a Snorlax onesie because it was incredibly cold during this convention as well. I mean, December and January are typically the coldest months here. But yeah, so this day definitely filled out more. There are definitely more people in kind of like, I guess, the main areas of the convention. I saw some cool cosplays as well. I think there was like a Dry Bones there. I'm not sure if the Dry Bones showed up for Friday or for Saturday, but Dry Bones is there. Typically start off our days at the convention at the exhibit hall, so we're gonna go back there, okay? Because I do want to talk about one thing. I had no idea this was happening. I didn't even know it was there until Friday, but there's an 18 plus area. Essentially, 18 plus area would feature, I guess, content art that is for 18 plus, so I did not get a lot of footage in this area. But I wish it was kind of advertised that I guess they were doing that. I don't know, maybe I missed some stuff on the website or their Instagram that this was happening, but I completely missed it on Thursday. Again, going back to probably other exposés you saw, as well as kind of what I mentioned towards the beginning of the video, that could probably hurt sales of someone who's looking to be at this convention to make money, because I didn't even know it was fucking there. And then, furthermore, on top of that, there was an area of the artist alley that was kind of adjacent to the 18 plus, but facing the wall. I wish I would have got footage of this area, but I didn't. That floor planning was not the best, because I didn't discover that area also until how they had the 18 plus. You had to kind of go, you couldn't enter and exit from the same area. You kind of entered and then exited out, I guess, the back of that area, and I discovered it out of exiting the 18 plus area, which I felt really bad for those artists that were literally just facing the wall. Anyways, that leads us to the next portion of the haul, which will be what I got in the 18 plus area. Plus I did get something else from a artist that was in that back row, so we'll go ahead and talk about that. First, we got some manga, some comics here. Would this be manhwa, manga? I guess manga, yeah? But yeah, we got some manga here, and I've actually purchased from this company before. They're called the Yaoi Army. They were at SakuraCon, and so I think I got some prints from them, but I did not know they had original manga. That was exciting. So I got four of their original manga here, which I've already read a couple. First manga we got is Against All Odds. Show it here. I read this. I enjoyed it. For the sake of time, I won't go through what all of these are about, but I'll probably put somewhere on the screen kind of the synopses and everything, so you could pause and feel free to read there. Second one I got is Scripted Love. I read this one as well. I really did enjoy this one. I kind of want to reread it. Who knows? If you want me to do a video talking about these, let me know in the comments, by the way. Next one I got is Father Complex. Let me see. I have not read this one yet, but I hope to read it very soon. And the last one I got is American Yakuza. Here we are. Have not read this one yet either, but it's chunky. It's chunky. I wanted to get more, but I restrained myself. So they had a thing, like if you bought 2 of like the manga, you would get like a tote. So I got the BL tote bag. I think it's supposed to be like, you know, like the I think it's Marc Jacobs. I don't know. I'm not a high fashion girl, but you know, they have like the tote bag. It's like the BL tote bag. And then, oh, I don't know if I remember the name of the seller, but if I find it out, I'll put it on the screen. But I got a print from them. I got this Samurai Champloo print. I don't know. Maybe Sleepless Art Punk is in the corner, but I'll find out the actual seller's name and I'll put their information as well as the Yaoi Army, their information in the description box below. On to the activities of Friday. So we went to a couple more panels on this day. We went to, I think, a Guess That Anime Character panel, which I did not film, and I asked the Scooby Gang, which is my group of friends, what I'll call them, if anyone else filmed. No one else filmed. I had started to drink around this time, so I was trying not to embarrass my friends. So that's that. But I had a lot of fun at that panel. The folks who, actually, I do have something I want to talk about. So I enjoyed the people that were like hosting. There was one guy though that, I don't know if he watched a lot of anime. Like, what did he say? Okay, so they're doing an example, like, here's how we're gonna play the game. So one person was gonna come up to the mic and be like, you know, not face the screen, which is where they'll put up the name of the character, or put up the character, right? So they did the example, and the guy was like, okay, he's supposed to guess Kahlua. Kahlua? Like,
favorite anime is Naruto Shippuden.
even in my tipsy state, I was just like, Kahlua? Is that who you're talking about? Kahlua? Anyways, child, other than that, which that didn't deter me any from enjoying the panel, but it was a fun panel nonetheless. Speaking of drinking, one thing I definitely missed this year was the anime themed drinks. They would have, if I still have like clips from last year, I'll definitely put them on the screen, but like the One Piece Punch, those kind of themed drinks. They just kind of had like these little like stands where they could probably only make 5 things from the amount of stuff they had, which I kind of missed that, which I don't know. I'm not really well versed in event planning or, you know, agreements between events plus in venues or anything, so I don't know if that was a Cobb Galleria Waverly Hotel thing or if it was an AWA thing that they just both agreed on. I don't know, but that's one thing I did kind of miss. In addition to, since this is gonna chit chat video, but one thing I did miss from last or years prior was that 3rd place. Okay, voiceover kudzu jumping in again because I am editing and I did not do a good job at explaining what a 3rd place is. So essentially a 3rd place is that place where you build community, right? So it's essentially used as a theory as to why folks in Gen Z, Gen Alpha, etc., or younger millennials, why we are quote unquote more lonely. So essentially you spend most of your time one of 2 places, work or school or home, right? So the 3rd place used to be back in the day an arcade, the library, some social club. Now a lot of people use their 3rd place as the internet, and hence why people, I guess, are lonely. But anyways, so that is essentially what the 3rd place is. And yeah, I'm just using that as an analogy to try to explain why I feel like the 3rd place is kind of needed in AWA sense. Hopefully that's better than whatever I said before. You all will never know whatever I said before, but anyways, back to the video. The 3rd place in how I'm using it in this sense is that typically people spend a lot of time 1 or 2 places. The exhibit hall or wherever the panels are, right? That's 2 of the main places. But one thing I think that AWA did very well in the past was having that 3rd place. And that third place was kind of a courtyard area that was in the Waverly Hotel. That it was like a bar and then it had like a courtyard there. That's how I would like meet other people outside of my friends that I'm with. I would have a drink, people watch even. I think one year like people were like even like fucking swag surfing in that area also. That was a big part of, I guess, the culture, at least from an attendee's perspective. And there wasn't really that this year. I mean, we on accident found an area that a lot of people were hanging out at. I think it was the Signia. I don't know, I get confused. I think there was the Omni and the Signia. I'm pretty sure it was the Signia where we found that kind of bar and like where people were like sitting and talking. Me and my friend were just like, yeah, I really miss that courtyard, because we could just spend, I remember spending, like, we had like a panel probably around 3 and we didn't have another one until like 10. We spent like hours in the fucking courtyard just like meeting other people, kind of as much as I can, being introverted myself. All that to say, that was one panel we went to, and I don't think we had another panel until like 11 o'clock that night, which is a panel I'm probably gonna go to every year. I go to AWA, which is Yaoi Jeopardy. Listen, I'm a Yaoi BL girl, okay? I'm gonna go to all the Yaoi BL events. And this one was one of my favorites because it's really, really fun. The hosts are very engaging. I don't know who the author is.
All right, give me the answer. I gotta hear you say it. I need to hear you say it. Not them. Wait, what if okay. All right, what do we have?
Always recommend, if you find yourself at AWA, you're Fujiyoshi, go to Yaoi Jeopardy. I mean, I actually got a chance to go up and answer a question this time, but they had like a raffle system, and essentially everyone I went with, all my friends are like,
yeah, if they call my number, yeah, you're going up. Yeah, so get ready.
So I went up, and luckily I knew the fucking answer. Because I've kind of been slacking on like my BL manhwa, especially like the webtoon game, because I've been been consuming my BL content in the form of male romances on Kindle Unlimited. But so I don't know about the new one. But yeah, that's essentially Friday. It definitely filled out a little bit more. Let's move on to probably the most exciting day, the busiest day. Saturday. So, on to Saturday. Saturday was the day. Because quietly, in the background, okay, as we're going through our time here, me and my friend group were like,
numbers seem a little low. Let's see what Saturday looks like.
Okay, so it was a big day. Okay, because one, we were looking at attendance, which supposedly attendance went up this year, which we will get to. So we're looking at attendance, A, and B. We needed to find Legoshi. You're probably like, what is she talking about? Yeah, I needed to find Legoshi, okay, from B-Stars. Before the convention, I was just kind of going on the Instagram to see what guests were going to be there. And I found out Legoshi himself was going to be at AWA. Okay, so quick pause here, but one of my favorite things about this post was this one comment that said, "What does this mean?" Like, they were just as confused as I am, but oh my god. So, me being the person I am, I had to go investigate. I had to see what Legoshi was going to be like. Is he going to be as tall as he is in the anime? Is he going to be shy? What Legoshi are we going to get? I decided to go break off from the friend group and try to find Legoshi when we were supposed to be signing autographs. And here's what happened. Okay, sorry for the angle. It's my first time ever, like, I wouldn't say vlogging in public, but like talking to a camera. So, hopefully y'all can hear me. And if I'm breathing hard, I'm booking it because I have like 10 minutes. So, they announced guests, right? And one of the guests that they announced, industry guest, mind you, is fucking Legoshi from B-Stars. Now I am booking it to where the autographs are, so I can see, like, is he signing autographs, or like, What is he doing? We'll see. I'll check back in once I see Legoshi, the industry guest. Okay, so I'm here now. We'll fucking hold on. Let me see what this is. Okay. I'm in here. I know I'm late. I think he stopped signing autographs at 1:30. It's 1:20 right now. Okay, let me hold it like this. So, bitch, what the fuck? Okay, it looks like maybe I missed him. I don't know. I've been fucking had. He's not even here, but there's another opportunity, I guess, to see him at 4 because he has a panel. Well, actually, I think the panel is like Studio Orange, the one that does B-Stars on Netflix, is gonna be here to talk about the final season or whatever. I guess he'll be there, but I feel fucking bamboozled. Anyways, hopefully y'all can hear me. If not, I'll put subtitles on this. But anyways, child, back to the vlog. Okay, so as you saw from the clip, we didn't find him, but don't fear, okay? He had a panel later in the day, which we'll get to that when we get to that. Before we get to the rest of the day, the rest of Saturday, thought this would be a good time to add in the third installment of this haul, okay? Which I'll talk about some of the stationery items I got from the Artist Alley. So, let's see. Hopefully I have their cards. Yes, I have their cards in here. So the first artist I bought from is Got Moxie. So first I got this cute little notepad. Yeah? Isn't this cute? I think it's just a capybara, right? I don't know. And then second, I got a cute little charm, or you probably can use it as a keychain as well, but it's the phone. Look at that. It's the phone you get if you play Animal Crossing, you know about, of course, your phone. And I've just never seen anything like that before. So let me actually take this out. Ooh, here's their information. So I'll make sure to put that. Okay, next we got another little fun baggie of stuff. This is from, let me get the shop name, because I got cards this time. Let's see. This is from JiaDoesArt. I'm probably saying it incorrectly, but here's their information here. Let's see. We got a couple of things. Ooh, I think I got a little freebie thing too. So first we have some notepads here. So I have this Snorlax notepad, and then I lost it in my lap. We have a Celeste notepad. Isn't that cute? And I got a couple of washi tapes. So I got a Celeste washi tape, and then a comfy Pokemon washi tape, as it says here. For the freebie, I guess I got this little fossil sticker. I almost forgot I got this. Once again, here's their card. It is Gia. That could be it. JiaDoesArt. Like everyone else, of course, their shops, Instagrams, whatever I can find to tag in the description below will be in the description below. Now, the venue did seem way more full this day, for sure. You know, it's hard for me to judge because I only have the Cobb Galleria Waverly Hotel as a base. And there's way more space even in Building C than there probably was in both of those areas combined. Yeah, we tried some other food options today, which I didn't know there were going to be food trucks. There's that. They're kind of across from, so there's one main hallway where I guess I think registration was there, a lot of the food options were there, but on the outside of the building from that area, that's where they had the food trucks, and I went to Egg Roll Boys. I was actually really upset that the bento bus did not come back. That, like, I look forward to the bento bus. That tofu bowl, but I decided to try something, I went to the Egg Roll Boys, and I got like a chicken enchilada egg roll. Not my favorite thing, I'm gonna be honest, okay? Probably 2.5 stars out of 5, but who am I, okay? They had a long line, so they could have been popular, but I was eating that egg roll and fries as we were sitting in the Beastars panel, and I did not film the food, but I did film the flower that came with it. So on to the panel. This was actually a really good panel. Yes, Legoshi was there. Let's get back to the saga. Legoshi was there, and I kind of like did like a little sneak film of him, which wasn't necessary because he was meeting people after the event, and I got my picture. Hopefully there's room on the screen with my big ass head. But yeah, no, this panel was actually really, really good. So a couple of people on the animation team from Japan were here to talk about anything from the process of making the animation, which I didn't know. So one of them, he was so cute. One of them was so cute, by the way. He was talking about how, like, in like fight scenes or little scenes where the characters are moving around, they are, I guess, the base for that. So, like you've seen those like behind the scenes where they have the like the little balls on them. So I guess he was doing a process where some character fell, and he talked about how like his shoulder was in pain because he had to like fall so many times to get the right fall for the character. So that was really cool. And they even talked about how they wanted, I guess, the facial expressions of Legoshi to kind of match like angry Legoshi, sad Legoshi, shy Legoshi. But yeah, that was a really, really cool panel. And I did get to meet Legoshi, so if anyone was curious on how the saga ended,
we do not care.
That's where it ended. So there are some other panels we went to that day as well. So the Dark Horse manga panel was also really nice. I went to that the year before, and that is an industry panel. So essentially those are where any industry, so I'll just use Dark Horse or Yen Press for example, they come in and typically they talk about the history of the publisher, what they specialize in, either if it's manhwa, comics, manga exclusively, all those things, and talk about kind of new releases coming up for the year. So that was really exciting because I know they talked about, the Vinland Saga deluxes, I think, are releasing. They kind of do a lot of the seinen titles, which I don't read a lot of, but I do plan on doing that this year. So that was always really fun, and the guy who does host it is really cool. You can just tell he's just really excited about the craft and really excited about what this publisher does. So it's always nice to hear people like that speak because, I don't know, their passion for it definitely comes out.
Acclaimed manga series by him called Wandering Island that was nominated for the Eisner Award at San Diego Comic-Con, and Emanon, the great science fiction manga. This is his most recent work, and this is pretty much the only image of it I can actually show you, because this is pretty much the only time she's actually wearing clothes in the entire manga. So basically
And they did talk about one manga I was interested in checking out just because of some rabbit hole I was down. So they talked about Innocent or Innocence is probably what it actually is called, like Innocence. It's about French executioner. Like, being an executioner was like a job, right? Like, you had to be actually really good at what you did. Like, if you didn't operate the guillotine correctly, it's a gruesome scene. Or if you didn't do the right axe chop, it's a gruesome scene. So I kind of want to see how they portray these executioners, because I guess you would typically think they're the bad guy, right? But yeah, I want to maybe check out that. It's really chunky though, so I think I'll check that out on the Kindle potentially. But anyways, moving on. Our last panel of the day was the Young Academics on Ice panel. Yaoi. It was the Yaoi panel. This panel I went to last year, but I barely remember it, which isn't anything on the panel list or anything. It was just at 1:15 a.m. Okay, what was I to do? But this year it was actually at 11:15 p.m. So I'm awake at that time. But this is a really fun panel also. It's essentially a whole bunch of Fujiyoshis sitting together talking about BL and Yaoi and watching some BL Yaoi anime together. Now, there is one thing I do want to talk about. Okay, so we had a vote, okay, on what we wanted to watch. And it was between Heaven's Official Blessing and Given. I voted for Given, but unfortunately majority rules. So we all had to watch Heaven's Official Blessing. Yeah, I thought about maybe reading it. That made me not want to read it, okay? When I tell you I didn't know what was going on, I was so bored. And everyone was just like, every time certain characters come on the screen, everyone was like, oh yeah, that's your boo thing, that's your boo thing. I'm like, boo thing where? All they're doing is walking through beautiful gardens with their hair flowing beautifully in the wind. And I don't know what they're talking about. This is like a Quentin Tarantino movie. You start in the middle. But the thing about those movies, you always figure out how we got there. I was so lost. I didn't understand what was going on, and it had been a long day. So me and the Scooby Squad, we were just like, okay, what's happening? Can someone blink twice? School me in the comments if I'm wrong. I'm pushing Heaven's Official Blessing further down on my list because of that. So that was the last panel of the day, and that kind of took all the wind out of our sails, and we regrouped for Sunday. Last day, Sunday, always a bittersweet day for me just because, I don't know, I use conventions kind of as a vacation or a staycation. It's kind of a time where I could use like 3-4 days to really like escape from reality, even though I'm like very much in reality at the event. You know, the traffic of course slows down on Sundays, you know. Anyway, so before we get into the last day of the convention and my final thoughts, I thought I would share, of course, the final shout out, the final part of this haul part of the video. Last thing I got were a couple of prints from a artist called Basement Vermin. Basement Vermin. Here's their information, which I'll make sure, of course, I tag their Instagram. Yes, their Instagram and shop down below, because honestly, I almost got a like acrylic stand that they had, but I was like, you know what, chill out. Of course, it's skate related. So first I got this Reki and Longa print. Then secondly, I got a Joe and Cherry print. But yeah, so thank you, Basement Vermin. It's Vermin. Almost said Basement Vernon, like Vernon from 17, but Vermin. Anyways, back to Sunday. Typically what we use Sunday for is really walking around the exhibit hall to see if there's anything else left for us to buy. And we actually met this really cool dude. If I remember, I'm gonna remember the name of the game. I'll put it on the screen somewhere. He was kind of a part of that group that's not necessarily Artist Alley, but not like a vendor. So kind of there to either showcase like either a game, visual novel, a video game, comic series, any one of those. So he was kind of like sharing his game, kind of like a Cards Against Humanity type game that he shared with us, and we kind of went through like all these samples, and I was getting way too excited. I'll probably insert clips here. Another thing we did this day was go to the manga library, which is a big part of every convention. As you know, big foundation of this channel is manga, as you can see behind me. So I really had to go, of course, to the manga library, which we typically do. I know in the past we've gone every day, but we just haven't had the time. So we went Sunday because I insisted on it. And I want to talk about this a little bit. The manga library felt a little bit different this year. which I don't know necessarily how manga libraries work, like if it's a specific company that puts it on or if they work with a multitude of different sources to put it together. I'm not exactly sure how manga libraries work in the convention space, but this one felt a little bit different because the titles were older. Not that like the condition of the books themselves were old, but it just felt like a lot of early 2000s, I guess, or 2010s, depending on who you ask. Point is, right, a lot of the manga felt a little bit older, which was kind of good and bad. I think maybe bad in my case, because I was kind of looking for specific things. And they also added an 18 plus section here as well. They're really, which I'll get to towards the end, they're really, I think A was really trying to rebrand to be less geared towards older people and more geared towards everybody, rated E for everyone type shit. But anyways, they added an 18 plus section here, and I was like, oh, okay, this is cool, because at SakuraCon, which by the way is, I feel, that was probably one of the best manga libraries I've ever been to, was the SakuraCon manga library. 1, location, stunning. 2, what was available in the manga library? Everything, okay? Yeah, so they had an 18 plus section. I don't think it had a lot to offer, in my opinion. It was mostly kind of like seinen titles. So Berserk was in there, which I guess has some kind of 18 plus themes, I think more in kind of like the violence aspect of it. Yeah, but one good thing I'll talk about in the manga library was I got the opportunity to read Claymore. I'm copping that box set. I don't know when, but I will be getting that box set. It's been a while since I've been that excited about a shonen. Or is it seinen? What is it technically? What category? I'm not really good at like the categories for manga. I kind of felt like how when I read Demon Slayer for the first time, which is funny enough in the manga library, where I was like hooked in the first 20-30 pages. I was like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I want to read the rest of it. Unfortunately, I didn't get to finish it because they were closing. I think the manga library kind of closed like an hour or so before everything else closed. But yeah, that was a highlight there. And then kind of as we were waiting for the closing ceremonies, which is like at 5, we found this random music panel. We just went and kind of sat in. I think it was centered around anime openings and closings and like the artists that are typically known for that, potentially. I could be wrong.
I don't know, I guess just the way to say it is they have a very strong presence in that. So the group is led by Daiki Tsuneta. He's the one in the jean jacket leaning against the wall of the elevator.
And now it gets to the closing ceremonies. And here I'll talk a little bit more about that, and as well as my thoughts. I've seen a lot of thoughts since the end of this event, mostly from an artist's perspective, which I'm glad I watched those videos. One, because I don't think of things in terms of an artist, right? You want to make back your fucking table and make money. You know, I look at things as an attendee, which is what I am. It also just gave me perspective on what really could have been better. First thing I want to talk about, the CEO did say that attendance went up this year, or last year. I'm going to say this year, okay? Even though it's 2025 as I'm filming this, I'm going to say this year because that's when the event happened. He said they were at about like 30,000, like between 35-40,000 last year, and it was like 44,000 attendees. I didn't necessarily feel that, but like I said earlier, my base is the fucking Cobb Galleria, right? And I'm also not sitting there like Randall, like
1 attendee, 2 attendee, 3 attendee, 4.
It felt a little bit, you know, it didn't feel as full as it has in the past, but also it's a bigger space, like I said, so maybe those people were just not in an area I was at, so there we go. He also mentioned another date change coming next year. So AWA this year in 2025 will be also at the Georgia World Congress Center, but it will be from like December 18th to December 21st. 4 days before Christmas. Insane. And I'm wondering what the fuck attendance is gonna look like. Moving on from that, most of the questions people just started off with being incredibly thankful, which I understand, right? Like, I think the AWA team, the CEO and the team did the best they could with, I guess, the hand they were dealt. Because at least to me, messy, nosy ass me from last year, it seemed like they, I don't know, maybe had a falling out or intense disagreements with the Cobb Galleria / the Waverly Hotel. I remember before AWA last year, there was a whole thing about all these rules changing about cosplay. They also changed rules in terms of having alcohol in your room and started adding that, saying shit like it was a family-friendly event. Okay? So, I don't know. To me, that sends off like, okay, there seems to be friction between the venue and the event, right? But also, I think at the same time, AWA is growing, okay? It's definitely become more popular since the 2-3 years I've been going. And we all know the way to make money is to make your shit rated E for everyone, okay? Make it really geared towards kids. Because even here on YouTube, it's encouraged that you make your shit good for kids, good for adults, good for the oldies, good for the youngies. That makes you more money. Gearing it more towards everyone. So it just seems like there was a lot happening in the last year, 2 years, right? I don't know. It could be weird tinfoil hat conspiracy I have. So there's just a lot happening, I think, for them. For me, what they were able to do this year from an attendee's perspective was pretty fucking decent. Okay, it was pretty fucking decent. I'll start with what I liked. What I liked, the branding, okay? Keep this, okay? I like whoever these characters are. Little panda buddy. I love the branding. I love how everything was consistent, okay? The consistent branding, especially if you're trying to grow, is nice. Like when you think MomoCon, you think that Coochie Kobe. I don't know what it's called. I think it's literally called the Momo, but I call it a Coochie Kobe. Another thing I liked as an attendee, and as an attendee that likes space, I did like the amount of space that we had this year. As you know, the Waverly and the Cobb Gallery are quite small, so sometimes, especially on Saturday, it was hard to move. It felt very much Anime Expo. On the other side of that, let's make use of the space. Which someone brought up at the closing ceremony, there was like nowhere to just fucking sit, okay? There was nowhere to just sit and eat other than the floor, right? And there's like some tables they had in the back, but my friend got kicked out because I guess it was supposed to be for like cosplay repair, which you don't need all that space for cosplay repair, but this is coming from someone who does not cosplay, so I don't fucking know. Also, which someone brought this up in the closing ceremony as well, expand with intention. So I know they expanded the vendors that were there as well as the artists, but there's a way to space the floor economically, which I'm going to bring up SakuraCon as an example again. Okay, so my camera cut out here, so I'm just going to do another voiceover, but what I was saying is at SakuraCon, so I'll show clips here, they had 2 companies that I know of that had their own kind of showcase area, so Yen Press and Gunpla. I don't know Gunpla like that, so I have no idea if I'm saying that correctly. But so they had their own little areas in the exhibit hall that, set up and showcased some stuff, even sold some stuff as well. So I think that would be a good way to space the floor. But the CEO did bring up a good point that like these companies want to see how much revenue is generated and, if this would be financially worth it for that, which makes sense. So definitely understand where he's coming from, but that's essentially my whole point here. But now as I'm thinking, maybe Dark Horse would be a good contender for that, because they already come every year for AWA. But anyways, point is, my camera cut out, but that's essentially what I was saying. Area of improvement, I guess, if you want to rebrand and start separating out the 18 plus stuff, please allow us to have 18 plus wristbands. Another thing, this is less, really doesn't have to really deal with me. It's more of just to make the vendors and artists happy, because they make me happy. So I want to make them happy. But floor planning. This kind of goes back to something I mentioned earlier with expanding economically, like making use of the space you have by adding those industry showcase panels, I guess, or booths. Let's work on the floor planning. Okay. It kind of felt like they just wanted to pack so many people in this place, in the hall, which I get it. Sure, they have to pay for their table, that makes you money. But when all of them start not wanting to come back because they were, I don't know, facing a wall the entire convention, that in turn makes attendees maybe want to shy away, because a big part of it, like I said, it's part of the main two places people are, the exhibit hall and where the panels are. Okay, so having happy vendors and happy artists has happy guests. And people talk at the end of the day. So if they say this event fucking sucked, they're gonna tell their other artist friends. Like, granted, there are artists on the other side that faced a wall, but there is an event going on there, which I think it was kind of like the Idol-esque events. So people will kind of be there and go, oh wait, I can shop, right? Last thing too, which is probably wishful thinking, and I don't know if it's possible that this could happen. Try to create that third place again. If you've gone to AWA, let everyone know in the comments below, because I want this video to kind of be semi-educational, if that was important to you. But that was a big part of the culture, was meeting people in that third place. So I don't know if you want to create like cool like sit down area. I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is possible. I don't know if we'll ever have that courtyard again for AWA, but that was a big part of the culture. Like I said, there was a whole bunch of fucking people swag surfing there, which seems to be an Atlanta thing for some reason. I don't know if the Falcons started that, but whatever. I think that was missing from AWA this past year, and I feel like it definitely showed just in the vibe. The people are always still cool to me, at least. Okay, I have no idea where I am in terms of battery, so we're gonna close out this video there, but that concludes our 2024 AWA vlog haul chit chat info video. I do plan on going to AWA in 2025, or this year, so I'm interested to see where they go from here, right? Which I don't know. This may be just another lame duck year until I guess they can get their original dates back, since it's going to be close to Christmas. So we'll see what happens, what changes they're able to make. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, evening, morning, whenever you're watching this video. And I will see you all in a new video very, very soon. Bye.
There's so much love in my blood, there's so much love in my blood, there's so much love in my blood.